episodes for a long time, and
I
finally,
can't see me because it's
was
bottle's blocking my
was
shot.
was that? Oh yeah, it was. It was right in front of her. Jesus.
That's
Perfect, it's right there.
I didn't even-
trained professionals.
I didn't even think
That's
about
what
that.
It's
we
like a
are.
little surprise. Like,
Coming to you virtually live from the Beer and Whiskey Studios on the floor of the tap room
A little less live every time.
of Greenville Beer Exchange, or GBX as the cool kids call it, on Lawrence Street in glorious downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Russ Heaps, and welcome to this episode of It's Just Bourbon. And that's where we pick a bourbon, and I get my good buddy here, Big John Richards, to join in, and we sniff it, and we sip it, and we kibitz about it, and we'll talk a little bit about the distillery, whatever we know. We'll talk a little bit about distilling sometimes, but we both do this mostly because we just like drinking bourbon. What can I tell you? And today we have with us Sydney Foster, who is a bartender at one of my favorite joints in downtown Greenville, which is Sobeys on Main Street. And we have been coaxing Sydney to join us on some episodes for a long time, and
I
finally,
can't see me because it's
was
bottle's
that?
blocking my
Was
shot.
that? Was that? Oh yeah, it was. It was right in front of her. Jesus.
That's
Perfect, it's right there.
I didn't even-
trained professionals.
I didn't even think
That's
about
what
that.
we
It's like a
are.
little surprise. Like,
That's the issue with not actually having a production manager that looks at all this stuff. Anyway, now it's blocking me. No, it isn't.
No, you're good.
No, I'm good. I don't want you to miss me.
It's blocking the bathrooms.
Yeah,
I had that there the whole time.
we wouldn't want it to block that.
So, anyway, what we have here is a bourbon from my pal David Meyer at Glenns Creek Distilling, and this is a bottle that I bought on a trip there, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, where I picked up some other things. We did a segment on Glenns Creek No. 5 Premium that was also part of that my wild ass purchase thing there. So anyway, what this is, it's a bourbon that's been aged 33 months, they say. It's barrel proof. It's 103.6 proof, 51.8% ABV. It's barrel number 2, bottle number 206, in case you're keeping score. And the price is, it's about $70 a bottle. The name is Cuervito Vivo. I love saying that, Cuervito Vivo. What it means is live, little crow. And the significance of that is Glenns Creek distills, bottles, and ages on what was the original Old Crow Distillery on McCracken Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. Up the road from them on McCracken Pike is Woodford Reserve, is Buffalo Trace, and some other. So they are in the heart of what is essentially the Bourbon Trail in Lexington. So my suggestion is, if you're ever in that area doing the Bourbon Trail, go to Glenns Creek. It doesn't look like much from the outside, and actually it doesn't look like much when you're inside. But they do. David does one of the best distillery tours I've ever been on.
Keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Big John's having a little episode over here.
Dying.
So you can go back and look at some of the other Glenns Creek episodes. We've done, like I said, probably 3 or 4 of them. But the magical thing about this is David Meyer is not was not a distiller nor a bourbon aficionado. In fact, he told me in the original interview I did with him that he had really never had bourbon before. However, he had the opportunity to buy the distillery. He was looking for something else to do, and so he was up. The stills they have there, he made by hand. So it's really a very unique. Oh, you're rejoining us?
Welcome back.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
So it's a very unique situation.
I didn't do it.
If that's the cops, I've been here all day. That's actually my phone, and this is being the professional endeavor this is. I forgot to turn the ringer
I
off.
thought maybe you were actually expecting something important there.
Well, it could be. Who knows? But
Well, now.
Was some talk of an Amazon order earlier today, so I thought it might be, Amazon.
yeah, it could be anything. It could have been anything. Hopefully,
Hopefully it doesn't ring again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter.
We'll find our way into it.
That's
Ladies first, house second.
oh yeah, that is the house.
What does the house mean?
That's for the owner here,
Oh.
Devin. Holy shit!
Just pour an ounce of this, right?
Holy moly!
What am I supposed to do? Oh, I did give you a
It's a
little
big
extra
boy.
there,
You
You
did.
can handle it.
I believe in you, Russ.
Yeah.
Let's find a way to not hide Sydney again.
Yeah, they're kind of silly to invite her and then stick a
me.
bottle in front of her face. So specifically, they dedicated this bourbon to Dr. Let me see what his first name was. I have it here in my notes. Except,
Once again, trained professionals.
yes.
You're doing amazing.
Dr. Crow. I can't remember what his first name is. It's John or James or
Bill,
Ebenezer. I don't
Sue.
know. I'm not sure. But anyway, they did and specifically dedicated it to. Look how much of this you poured.
There's 4 of us, Russ.
I know. Jeez.
We don't go through as much when it's just you and me.
I'm going to have to go back and get another bottle. So, yeah. But specifically dedicated this to Dr. Crow and all the people who made that Old Crow such a legendary brand.
Cuervito Vivo? Cuervito Vivo?
Suervito Vivo, Texas and Miss Lily.
I'm scared.
All right.
Chug it. Just throw it back. It's
So-
like
Woo!
no,
It smells spicy, right?
It does.
Yep.
Smelling, I think, cherries? First I thought plums, and I don't think it's
I smell
plums
cherries,
anymore.
but I don't know if that's just because you said that, and then I smelled it.
wow. I like that when I tasted it to begin with. I'll be right back.
Okay. I took a vacation during this episode. You might as well.
Right.
Like, what is wrong with these guys?
Yeah.
We're not professionals. That's what's wrong with us.
Well, that's the best part of this show.
It doesn't taste like cherries.
No, I think it's gonna. So I'm still getting. It's a overproof, so I'm still getting some of that acetone hairspray thing. If I stick my nose too far down in it, but I think I'm getting cherries and like. It's like leather, but it's not dusty leather. Like not old leather.
I'm
It's
getting
like,
leather. I'm getting leather.
It's like really fresh leather. I don't know how to really describe that any way other than that.
You think about how leather smells and then taste
I
it.
smell. Sydney's gonna have a interesting time at work.
Yeah,
what I-
that's pretty fair too.
That's what I smell.
Yeah, I think I'm pulling some of that toffee and caramel side, like more toffee, I think, than caramel, really burnt sugar, and some just. I say leather, but I feel like it's like leather working, like when I'm
Making leather.
like I mean it's very specifically that like Boy Scout camp is where my head went.
I'm getting
Like,
a little. I'm
you're a
getting a
Boy
little
Scout?
I
tobacco.
was a Boy Scout.
Oh.
I'm getting a little tobacco in this too. I think.
Think so?
Yeah.
You might be right. I'm just trying to be gentle with it.
You tell us.
What am I telling you? It's whatever
What
you
did you
taste. I get intimidated when I have a female on the panel with me because girls always
Despite
have
the
a
fact he
better.
works with me all the time.
Girls just naturally have a more well-developed
Palate.
olfactory system than
Really?
boys do. Yeah, no, it's 100%. It's across the board.
Nose and all.
Yeah, your ability to taste and my ability. I am genetically inferior in my ability to taste than you. It's not
Look
hard
at that.
and
A man.
fast,
That
but
was so vulnerable of you. Finally, a man.
well, I mean, I'm here with the facts. That's what I got for you, Sydney.
You heard it here first. Okay. Well.
So I'm interested to hear what you taste, but I will tell you that I definitely pull some of that. It's the really light side of toastiness. It's that, like I said, like fresh leather. It's like brioche bread. It's like weirdly on the opposite side, toffee instead of caramel for me. But it's still a fresh flavor. But
I feel like I don't
Hit me.
have like a sophisticated palate like that because I just.
It just tastes
tasting,
good.
like- yeah, it just tastes great. I'm tasting like vanilla, maybe.
What you should.
I get
Okay.
that. Yeah, I didn't bring that one up, but you're right.
Am I?
Yeah, absolutely you are.
The whole aging in barrels, the sucking in and the sucking out of the wood creates a vanilla kind of tannin,
Well, yeah. I taste vanilla.
which is why it's a
the tobacco-y. Those two.
Yeah.
Those stick out to me.
See?
yeah.
Tobacco.
Tobacco. We're all on the same. We're on the same panel here, guys. Same team.
You beer
Same
freak.
team.
You beer freak.
Right. Now this is neat because it's as an overproof, it really drinks easy.
It
There's
does.
very little alcohol burn there. I still get those really fresh, lighter flavors out of this thing, and so many of them get super spicy and aggressive, and it.
I put 3 drops of water in this,
I'm about to put 3 drops of water in mine.
and it increased the spice for me.
Oh, good. That is kind of what I was hoping would happen. We've talked a little bit about that on with previous things, that with something that starts out sweet, dropping a little water in can actually increase the spice, which I'm pretty excited for. I'm going to use 2 because I've already had 2 sips out of mine.
Too.
Sydney, you should try that.
I was counting for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Try it. You will be
The drops?
stunned at how much 2 drops of water will change the way that whiskey tastes.
What if I did 3 drops of water?
You would be just as stunned.
And this is changing the spice?
So
No, it changes the profile, and it may change it to a way that you taste it differently than spice. But for me, when I did it, I got more spice, particularly on the back end of it.
you're literally diluting it, but just a little.
A little bit.
And it's just enough to change what's happening
Because
Years ago, it was expressed to me that this is what professional whiskey drinkers call tasting strength. And you're trying to shoot for a little lighter alcohol content so you can taste what's going on, but you're just trying to shave the edge off the alcohol content.
It definitely took the edge off a little bit.
I think it made the nose bigger. Made the nose bigger for me.
I agree, and I think that that's probably a product of just agitating the liquid
Yeah,
too.
that could be.
But
Interesting.
it's remarkable how much just 2 or 3 drops of water will change what's going on in that glass.
Would you say you love this?
Oh, I would. This is fantastic, and I think you're right. There's a lot more cinnamon. There's a lot more like an allspice, baking spices. That whole
Yeah.
baking spice side
Yeah.
really pops when you put the water in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's a really rich, more complex, I guess.
Yeah, it opens up, and it's already less of that like brioche, bready side, and when that baking spice pops on the back end, it really helps complete what's going on in there instead of it just being just sweeter at the without those 2 drops of water in there, and then it just opens up a little. It gets a little bit more expressive, and that little spice on the finish changes things considerably. And that's the way I would drink it at home. There's sometimes we've talked about where you put the water in, and you're like, no, I liked it better before. Sometimes you put the water in, and you can't put enough water in, and it never gets where you want it to go, and so then you're dropping an ice cube in or
But
something.
I think a couple of drops in this
Just right.
is just right.
Just right.
So it's kind of like putting like an ice cube in it, like a big rock in it.
But
Like,
dropping an
like if
ice
someone
cube.
got it at a restaurant, like with a big.
What happens with ice cubes? 2 things happen. Number one, the reason like at Sobeys where you guys use the big square cubes is because rather than a bunch of little cubes is because the dissipation of water into the bourbon is slower with that.
The big cube?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
However, the problem with any time you put ice in any liquor,
It dilutes it.
it deadens the taste.
Your tongue tastes less when it's cold.
Yeah, there's
It's the
less
same
flavor.
reason you
Okay,
warm up.
I know
Same
that.
reason you warm up your leftovers, because you taste them more when you put a little heat on them.
I love some cold pizza though.
No, don't get me wrong. Cold pizza is my favorite,
Yeah.
but cold pasta is not always the same effect. So you throw it in a microwave or toss it in a pan and give it a little saute. To warm it up, get it back up, and then you taste more of it. We talk about it with craft beer that, when you're pouring at 28 degrees, you can't taste the beer as it goes down. You need to be pouring, and the beer should hit your glass and be at like 40 when it gets to you for you to be able to taste it.
Yeah.
Most things.
Particularly the bigger ones.
Right.
The bigger ones. My feeling is that however you like to drink your bourbon
Right, you're not
is
wrong.
the way you should drink it.
Correct.
If you want to put Coke in it, heaven forbid,
Go get it.
put Coke in it, and that's why they make Jim Beam. Anytime you take a liquor and cool it, even if you just took this and sat it in a refrigerator, it would kill the taste.
Interesting.
Yep. Heat. It's saying carbonation helps your tongue taste more. Temperature helps your tongue taste more. So when you add those 2 things into something, it just makes the flavor expand and explode.
That makes sense.
And the more cold you get it and the less carbonated you get it, the less you're going to taste it.
So that's why I don't drink tequila or single malt scotch or bourbon or rye or American whiskey. I don't drink those unless I can drink them neat.
Tequila neat?
Oh
Tequila
yeah,
neat.
tequila always neat. Always.
Always.
I thought you were saying you don't drink it at all. I was like,
Oh, no,
my
no, no, no.
goodness.
I
We're gonna
drink,
have to,
I'm
like-
very ecumenical in my drinking. And, but if I'm gonna spend, to me, I understand when you're in college, you get, okay, Cuervo, and, we'll do the salt and the lime and, shoot it.
Oh my God.
But that's just partying. That's just getting drunk. But if you're going to sit down and enjoy what you're doing, it needs to be something that you can sip.
Yes.
In tequila, it's Casamigos. It's it's the nicer Casa Azul. It's
Don Julio.
1942,
Yeah.
or even Don Julio
Regular.
Reposado,
Yeah.
or Añejo, or
You should never sip a silver tequila, by the way. Silver tequila is for mixing.
I do not like silver tequila.
That's for mixing.
It's for
Yes.
mixing.
It's to go in margaritas.
So
That's what that's for.
I just don't drink, Irish whiskey.
No Jameson?
You got to get into Redbreast or something.
Yeah,
much-
you've got to elevate it so you can sip it, not shoot it.
Got it.
So, and I'm sure there is some point, because there's Jose Cuervo has a Familia something or other
Yes.
that
that's
is
the
like
100%.
$180 a bottle or
Right,
something
yeah.
that is sippable. Jose Cuervo Gold is
No,
like
it's not
no.
even. It's barely tequila. It's 45% vodka.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it sounds snobbish, but I don't drink liquor. I said liquor. I
He
don't
drinks
drink
liquor.
I don't drink liquor unless I can sip it.
Okay.
What's the point?
Yeah. Do you like a mezcal tequila?
I am not crazy about it, but I've had a couple that
Oh,
are
that's a good sipper.
drinkable.
There's some fun ones out there. It's just a lot smokier than tequila.
It tastes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've run off the rails again.
Well, you'll be happy to know that I'm tasting apples here at this point.
Jesus.
The last couple sips here have been straight.
You
straight
said
up
that, and I
Dutch
just
apple
got
pie.
it.
It's the cinnamon and the apple in there is just Dutch apple pie now. Now that my palate has kind of wrapped itself around there.
I'm getting a little apple. You said that, and I just had a sip, and it was going down, and I'm thinking, maybe apples.
See there?
John is
There you
big
go.
on the apple thing.
I do. The whiskey
But-
just often. This one does not taste like green apples to me. It tastes like apple pie.
But I never thought about apples until I started drinking bourbon with John, and he brought that up many times. and then I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm getting some, particularly Eagle Rare's
Eagle Rare's big on green apples.
is a
Tastes
big
like Granny Smith.
apple one. But all right, so
All right, off we go.
have we done enough
I
damage?
think we've exhausted us and them.
So damn lucky. See you next time. Thanks for being here,
Bye.
Sydney.
Of course.